Dear Rentals Club members, today I'm with Carlos Perez-Lanzac. He's the founder of the VITUR Summit, an event going to take place very soon in Spain. And he's also an active member of several short-term rental associations in Spain. So with Carlos today, we'll be talking about the event and try to understand how this event is different from the others that have already taken place. And I really want you Rentals Club members to hear more about the event because we are a partner of the event. You'll be able to meet our colleague Yuvika there. So it's very, very interesting to us to know what this is about, and the better placed person to talk about it is Carlos. Hey, Carlos, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Great to be here. Thank you for having me, Thibault.
Great pleasure. As I said, let's go straight to it, Carlos. I mean, there are obviously, and it's good now, multiple conferences happening, right? Conferences are back. As we're recording this, for example, in the US, there's VRMA International, the big US conference. Mm-hmm. And in Europe, we've had several others events happening. But VITUR is a bit different. So how would you define what VITUR is about, and how different is it from other European holiday rental conferences?
I think that we are working really hard on making a difference, especially on what's happening out there. The number one point is that the fact that it is an event organized by property managers and for property managers. So we do truly empathize and connect to what's going on in the industry at the moment. Like, what are the challenges? What are the problems? What are the innovation happening? Where is the industry going? What is the level of professionalization? What happened after all this COVID? What we learned and where we're going? And again, we had to go through quite a lot in the last 18 months. So yeah, I think we put a lot of focus on making an event that is relevant and for these property managers, and they have like practical information and potential agreements, strategic partnerships, key suppliers they're going to find on the event. One of the biggest differentiation basically is like, apart from having and focusing on what the property managers needs, we're going to cover pretty much everything on the value chain for property managers. We're going and we're talking about like the real estate investors. How is that real estate investor with that and that relation with the different operators? How easy or difficult is to choose a good operator for those investors as well. So we want to also understand those investors, real estate investors out there. Then about marketing, like how you create direct reservation, how you put value on your brand, how your brand make a difference, that kind of stuff. Then we bring in suppliers, like what is the technology that is most suitable for you as an operating company, like the smart lock solution, the smart housing solutions out there, and everything. And then even going to all these investors that are investing on startups, on companies from the industry. So we're going to be covering all that spectrum. And not only as a vacation rental sector, we want to present our sector across the tourism industry. And that's why we also bring in some panels about academy, some panels about mobility, how that is affecting our clients, the way we deal with our clients, the customer journey, and all that kind of experiences.
And speaking of experience, so VITUR is taking place in Spain, it's in Malaga. It's an in-person event, of course. And because it's an in-person event, you've been able to come up with pretty unique things, I think, or things that people maybe have never experienced before at a vacation rental summit. Could you maybe share a bit more about this?
Of course. There's something I think that is going to be really, really cool, which is what we call the VITUR living experience, which is basically have a real life apartment. We're going to build an apartment in the venue, the convention center, where people is a concept apartment of the future. Basically, they're going to be able to touch this kind of technology that we're talking about. Like, it's not only you're going to have the vendors, they're going to talk about what the technology is doing, it's you're going to be able to experience, as you just said, all that technology. We align sponsors like Salto Smart System that they are providing services and the platform, the devices all across the world. Then Cape Home is also a decoration company. They're working on renting products, etc. For like multifamily and big property managers, it's a great solution. Then we've got Alfredo Smart Systems. Then we got Samsung. So we're gonna have all the kitchen devices that are connected to the Wi-Fi. So it's gonna be quite like shocking. It's gonna be actually quite nice that we're gonna be able to see and, as I said, to touch that technology.
So that's very, I mean, like as you said, people can actually touch, right? It's just experience. So it's very concrete. And what can you think if I'm going to be an attendee, right, to VITUR? And VITUR again is an event in Spain, but the sessions are, a lot of them are in English, obviously, right? Just to say that. So let's imagine I'm a European or even, who knows, American person who wants to attend the event. What kind of other, let's say, practical, actionable insights do you think I would be able to walk away with?
Well, I think it's going to be mainly the content. Well, there's a lot going to be happening there. There are a lot of companies. As you know, there's a lot of M&A going on through the industry in different levels. There are a lot of strategic alliances. So any of these could happen. The level of networking is pretty high. It's a B2B event. You could take away, or you could come away from the tour with a strategic agreement, key collaboration with other potential property managers, best suppliers that you could have in the industry, that they know our industry upside down, so they do understand the needs that we have. And again, a view about the level of professionalization that is happening in the industry and like where we're going. And then obviously key findings and research studies from Focusrite, from Transparent, AirDNA is coming. So it's going to be coming information from everywhere. So I think it's definitely going to be, and that's why we believe that this event is going to be the most relevant for property managers this year.
You just mentioned property managers, and obviously for an event like yours, it's very important that, you know, property managers in good number can attend, right? It's how networking can happen, or talking about mergers. If the property managers are not there, it's a bit tricky. So some recent events may have had maybe, let's say, a lack of property managers. How are you tackling this at VITUR?
Well, we've been doing this for 6 years. This is the 6th edition. As I said at the beginning, we're very focused on the needs of the property managers. We got already a database of 25,000 vacation rentals here in the market. We already got in confirmation from main property managers in Greece, in Portugal, in Germany, in Italy. So obviously these kind of property managers, if they make the effort and the investment to come to an event like VITUR, obviously these are people that are quite key players and relevant to the markets. So we are focusing a lot of our promotion and distribution of events and talking like one-to-one with each one of these property managers. So we're doing an extra effort to make sure we reach all these key players for each different markets.
And a way for you to reach out to these players is to go through institutions or organizations. So same thing, how do you manage to get to, you know, short-term rental associations or big investors, right? How do you convince them to actually come and show up at VITUR?
This has been actually very, very interesting. Like on the preparation, we've been like more than a year already, like it's 2 years, because we decided to cancel in 2020. We didn't want or rely or see a value on online events. I think that you need to, in order to create value-added experiences and networking, you need to be present. So we found out two things. Number one, obviously the European Holiday Home General Assembly is going to be happening in Malaga. There's a lot going on a European level. There's a lot to be said. There's a change in the structure of the EHHA, and that's going to be happening in Malaga. So just that's going to create a lot of interest already. And then as we talk to investors, we talk to sponsors, and as we talk to different institutions, they realize that the vacation rental, service apartment, this kind of supply, it's becoming a way more relevant. It's not alternative accommodation anymore. It's the preference type of accommodation that the client and the demand is having. We've got many different reports that the increase of demand is going up by 40%. It's just not a double-digit growth. It's a significant statement about what's happening in the industry. You got real estate deals happening in Madrid that they're one of the investors that are coming. They bought 2 hotels and they turned them into apartments. You haven't seen any deal like that happening in Madrid or in Spain ever before. So it really, there's a real shift happening in this industry. So it was somehow these guys that are on the edge of the industry, they understand the markets. So it was for them quite obviously that they needed to be here in VITUR.
So all these, property managers, investors, associations will be there at VITUR. How about rentals club readers? What do you think is the best way for them to also take part of the event?
Well, I think your readers are, and that's why the reason as well to have you as a media partner. When you go into some of your articles, you really go in depth about like what's happening. You do a deep analysis. So the profile of your readers is someone that wants to know like truly, and as what you said, they are demanding. They really want to take away information. They really want to know what's happening. They're coming to work. I mean, it's going to be fun because obviously Malaga is sunny, it's great, there's beer, tapas, and everything else, and we make sure that people enjoy. But they do have an objective, and they are quality readers. So I think that it really makes sense to what we have. It was a long-term view of these events, and this year was particularly relevant about all the events of COVID. So yeah, I think that was the main reason to have you guys on board, and we're super excited about it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Carlos, for your time today and for having us partners. So obviously we post in the links, in the comments, show notes, links to the VITUR Summit website so that people know how to purchase tickets online and where to stay and things like this, because again, it's an in-person event in Malaga. And when does it take place, Carlos?
It's on the 28th and the 29th October, and they can check it online. It's vitursummit.com. They got all the different opportunities, as you said, for different tickets and the agenda as well of the event.
Perfect. Thanks again for your time. Take care, Carlos.
Thank you very much, Thibault. See you soon.